We've seen 10 billion in volume over the first 3 Bitcoin ETF trading days. So why are we seeing the sideways price action? Are GBTC outflows the primary culprit? We'll do a deep dive on GBTC. We'll also provide some updates from global leaders at the World Economic Forum in Davos. You're going to want to stick around for this one. Welcome back to the third installment of our daily Bitcoin ETF news show, where we discuss the latest news, events, winners, losers, and key information surrounding the Bitcoin ETF and its 11 approved spot ETF issuers. My name is Dante Cook, and I lead the business group for Swan.com. Here at Swan, we're on a mission to educate the world about Bitcoin. So please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification bell to extend our reach and help us cut through the noise on YouTube. For those of you who don't know, I'm an Eagles fan. As you can imagine, seeing the Eagles get dominated yesterday was frustrating. But in doing this daily Bitcoin ETF show, you know what's even more frustrating? Getting timely, accurate, and up-to-date numbers on trading volume, redemptions, and flows. Why is that? Here's my take. Compared to Bitcoin, an open source, transparent network that settles to consensus roughly every 10 minutes, some ETF administrators still send ETF data on a trade day plus another trade day standard in 2024. Like Bitcoiners say, there is no second best. I know you guys can't settle within 10 minutes, but come on guys, we've got to do better. But with that, here's an update on our daily numbers. Through Friday, January 12th, excluding GBTC, we've seen over 34,000 Bitcoin acquired by the 9 new spot Bitcoin issuers. Today, we saw over 600 billion in trading volume again, excluding GBTC, with BlackRock and Fidelity asserting themselves in the number 1 and number 2 spot respectively. Interesting fact, if we look at our frontrunner IBIT, the iShares ETF, we can see volume broken down by time of day in exchange, with most of the inflows coming from the NASDAQ around 9:30 a.m. Eastern. The price and volume of Bitcoin has remained relatively stable today, around $43,000, with daily trading volume reaching around 24 billion. But zoom out. When looking at historical price trends of Bitcoin, the price typically follows hash rate, and Bitcoin hash rate reached an all-time high of 532 exahashes. That's a 2x increase in total hash rate from 1 year ago today, and over a 5x increase in hash rate from when the China ban happened in July of 2021. Before we get into our GBTC deep dive today, let's get into today's quick winners and losers. Unrelated to the ETF, one loser for today was Stripe, which is now deplatforming companies for listing mining hardware on their website. So now people can't sell computers using your payment rails? Bitcoiners are pretty defiant and don't easily forget. I wanted to do some shout outs for some helpful people to follow on X.com related to these new spot Bitcoin ETFs. To Capital 15C, this account is diligently tracking ETF inflows and outflows and news. Go give them a follow. To Eric Balchunas, I'm pouring one out with you for our Eagles, brother. I can imagine you, like every Eagles fan, getting more upset than Gilly the Kid last night. I really appreciate all of your experience as an ETF analyst and bringing that and sharing that on Twitter every day. Keep it up. To Jeff Seifert, it's spelled different than it looks, people. He's incredibly helpful with his understanding of ETF flows and structure. Go give him a follow. Now, for our GBTC deep dive. GBTC saw the highest trading volume last week by far, which we were able to confirm resulted in net outflows. And now with Friday's official flow numbers in, we're able to definitively highlight this trend for you. On Friday, GBTC saw an outflow of 484.1 million, totaling 579 million of outflows since Friday of last week. With nearly 1 billion in trading volume today, making it again the clear winner in volume, we think it's safe to say this will result in capital exiting the fund, which we can confirm again in a few days. Today, nearly 11,000 Bitcoin was sent to Coinbase Prime on their behalf, which, if it's being moved to sell, could be putting more downward pressure on the Bitcoin price and outweigh the positive effect and inflows into these other new spot Bitcoin ETFs. However, Robinhood Chief Brokerage Officer says most GBT sellers are rolling their money into another spot Bitcoin ETF. Over time, I believe we will continue to see an increase in inflows due to the marketing efforts of these new spot Bitcoin ETF issuers. And just like most things that happen over time, they grow. There's a possibility that many investors in GBTC purchased it while it was at a steep discount to the price of spot Bitcoin and are now looking for more cost-effective exposure to Bitcoin via the other spot Bitcoin ETFs. If you're one of the people who hold GBTC in a retirement account, Speak to a Swan representative today who can help you calculate just how much money you can save by holding real Bitcoin in a Swan IRA versus holding GBTC in a retirement account. Connect with a Swan representative over the phone, and in just a few minutes, they will calculate exactly how much money you can save. In this scenario, a 51-year-old with $75,000 worth of Bitcoin, contributing $5,000 a year until they're 65, could save $103,713 in custody fees alone. Click the Calendly link in the show notes to schedule a meeting. Or if you just want to learn how Bitcoin can impact your retirement, join Swan CEO Corey Clipson on a live free webinar this Thursday in his public address titled It's Winning Time. Sign up for the webinar in the show notes. The difference between real Bitcoin and a spot Bitcoin ETF is like comparing the decision to ride on a commercial flight to Davos to riding on a private jet, pretending you actually care about reducing carbon emissions in the environment. The two things couldn't be more different. With that, let's listen in to what Cantor CEO Howard Lutnick had to say about Bitcoin from the World Economic Forum in Davos today.
So spot Bitcoin ETF, do you think that's going to restore confidence to the whole sector given what we've seen take place in the last 12 months?
No, that doesn't have anything. That's just a way for Americans to buy it. Can I ask you a question?
Sure, please do.
Why are Americans having anything to do with Bitcoin anyway? Why do they have anything to do with stablecoin anyway? Well, I could give you money on Venmo, on PayPal. It's not an American thing. This is Americans just cocking around like buying Tesla stock, okay?
Well, they're doing that plenty.
I know they do, but this is a speculative asset for us. But for countries like Argentina, Venezuela, Turkey, these crypto assets matter. Stable coins matter in those countries. Okay, they really do. It's a way to hold on to the dollar. So I think Tether's stable coin in Argentina, in Venezuela, in Turkey. I mean, imagine you're in Turkey. You don't want to hold the Turkish lira. I mean, come on. It's going to go down 50% this year. You want to hold the dollar, and holding it in a token, right? Holding your dollar in a token is amazing. So I think that's why Tether's doing really well. You realize Tether has $95 billion in issuance?
Here's why Bitcoin matters, Howard. The United States dollar has seen a 98% decrease in purchasing power over the last 100 years. It's actually baked into the Keynesian economic model to devalue. So yes, while weaker currencies may see this debasement occur at a more rapid rate and seek to diversify into US dollars through stablecoins like Tether, on a long enough timeline, hyperinflation will have its effect here too. It's not if, it's when. The average American is already feeling the stress today. It's easy to say that Bitcoin isn't important as you parade with billionaires in Switzerland. Bitcoin is freedom money for the everyday person, and it matters. It matters from the standpoint of freedom. It also just matters from purely a return standpoint. Here's why it matters now. In 2023, only two tech stocks, Meta and Nvidia, have better risk-adjusted returns than Bitcoin. Despite the price run in 2023, the party is just getting started. There's a meme going around the internet with 3 green dots and a red one. Well, that refers to how Bitcoin is typically up 3 years, followed by 1 down year since 2011. And don't forget, 70% of the circulating supply of Bitcoin has not moved in at least 1 year. This is near an all-time high. Furthermore, a record 43% of the circulating supply hasn't moved in at least 3 years. So zoom out, be patient, and don't sell your Bitcoin like our boy David Portnoy.
Everything I do with Bitcoin, I get in my baby blue eyeballs.
Own Bitcoin directly and withdraw it to cold storage colder than Andy Reid's mustache through a platform like Swan.com. If you're enjoying these daily Bitcoin ETF updates, don't forget to subscribe. Until tomorrow, this is Dante Cook with Swan Business. Happy stacking.